going to go first? 1, 2, oh yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go ahead and hit second entry. Is that right? Yes. Change that to a 7. 3, 2, 1, go 5. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. There's a bunch of information there on teachers. Okay. Get my fat head up here. All right. Just like seeing a double whammy of what we're doing. Ooh, look at the new TV. Is this the first time I've done a video with the? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. So that's what we have as a thing here in class. Okay. You don't. I don't know what just happened there. All right. Where were we at here? This one. Okay. And then I am going to refer to just the answers here. Okay, you got to know, and if your grade school teacher didn't do this back in grade school, that's how I feel about your teacher. I should go get them fired. All right, how you did long division back in the day. Do you remember that you do a little garage, and then you'd ask yourself, how many times does 3 go into 8? And the answer was 2, because 2 times 3 is 6. What did you do with the 6 then from the 8? Subtract. Do not forget that. And then you get 8 minus 6, which is 2. Then bring down the 1. How many times does 3 go into 21? The answer is 7. I don't know. It's not listening, of course. All right. And then 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract, and you get a remainder of 0. Does that mean 3 is a factor of 81? Yes or no? 3, 2, 1, go. Yes. Why? Because the remainder is 0. All right. So the next one, if you want to remember the division algorithm, if you want to call it that, 4 goes into 356. 4 doesn't go into 3, but it does go into 35. And one thing I do want to note, too, is a good train of thought or a good idea. No, actually, it's demanded. 4 goes into 35 8 times close. That 8's got to be above the 5 position, above the 10s. That means your at least final answer is 80 something. Right? When we go into polynomial division, you want to do the same thing. And I'll tell you what that means when we do polynomial division. All right, subtract and then bring down the 6, and then 4 goes into 36 9 times. Yes, 4 is a factor because you have a remainder of 0. Now, I do want to cover this last one. And I'll leave these both up here because I just didn't want to spend the time like, okay, class, do your grade school division with your friends in your little group. All right. I thought I'd just show this one and then remind you what you could do with the remainder. So in the last one, it's a no because the remainder is not 0. But I do not want you to forget, and those that are going first, you're going to do polynomial division. I'll show you how it works, so I'll help you. What? All right. 4 times 7 is 28. 31 minus 28 is 3. You know how to do it. Okay, but here's the thing, and I do want to cover a couple grade school things that you did. The first thing you did was just said, the teacher said, just put remainder 1. All right? And then just 45 remainder 1, you're done. Then the next couple things could have been either or. One of the things they may have showed you is, okay, class, now we're going to learn what a decimal is. Put a point, then put a 0, bring down 0, but actually put that point after the 5. And then how many times does 7 go into 10? The answer is 1. So then you learn what 45.1 meant, that I have a portion of a number now. First time we understood something less than 1, perhaps. And then you could keep going and write that decimal X amount of times. And then they showed you, well, you also, that little decimal, that's actually equal to 1 divided by 7. So you could write this as a mixed number. By the way, it's read 45 and 1/7. Actually, the sum operation technically is in between those two numbers. But then you were allowed to just tack those on together. That's important for today. Because today, wrong. Let's go ahead and show this first. So what does it mean for a binomial to be a factor of a quadratic? Well, good foiler, say it. Good factorers. Factors is the form of the word factor. So is x minus 7 a factor of this quadratic? I almost said quadrinomial. I was trying to do two things at once and my brain just locked up. This quadratic. You okay over there? Were you on time at school today? Are you sure? And get the check. All right. Anyway. Hey, what multiplies to negative 35 and at the same time adds to be negative 2? Everyone say it. 3, 2, 1, go. Negative 7 and 5. And then that's a 5 right there. I made a little boo-boo. First hour didn't say a word. And then second hour I had to fix it. So is x minus 7 a factor of this quadratic? Yes or no? 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, it literally is a factor. That's what this is called. But that's what it means also. It means x minus 7 would divide evenly into this polynomial. And the answer to that division statement would be x plus 5, the leftover factor, if we were going to divide these two. Next one, again, just to not overdo this, is 2x minus, you don't have to write this down, but is 2x minus 3 a factor of 2x squared plus x minus 3? Factor that one. Good foilers, say it. I swear to dog, we still have people that can't do this. 2x times x is 2x squared. Negative 2x and 3x is 1x. They don't even check. It's okay if you factor wrong first. It's not okay if you circle your answer. All right? And it's wrong. So anyway, is this a factor? No, just missed. So 2x minus 3 is not one of those two factors. So therefore, it would not divide evenly into that. Oh, your number's up. We'll get you on this next one. Okay, let me end this real quick, or not end it. There's no way with this new thing to. So see, the students don't see anything anymore. I just got to get this ready here. This is all on YouTube. Me getting this, so they don't see the answer, so I can ask these next people this stuff. So we'll get rid of that. 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 And then we'll ask the question. Okay. Here we go. Cast. Now you can see that we're back in action. All right, group number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what we're going to do is long divide this binomial by this. Why are you not writing anything down? This is the one you should write right here. Pretend. At the end you have a picture of a duck, that's fine. At least pretend you're taking notes. That's how I roll in this class. No excuses. Okay, so it's this, whoa. It's a 4-term polynomial divided by 3x plus 2. Okay, so it does say, here, let's see if I have this written before. No, it kind of says it on the next one. I'm kind of treating this a little different, though. You're not going to long divide with me, but you are going to long divide next year, and then do some synthetic division, which is what this is leading to. What did he say? Synthetic division? But I do want to show you long division so you know what the next thing I'm going to show you is replacing. And I'm not going to let you say that this is a challenge. I'm actually going to talk you through group number 5, how this works. It works just like grade school. Oh, and as a Federer Act, I do want to do this. Hold on. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Okay, I need this. Don't look. What do I need? Where is it at? I need this. Okay, so let me grab this. Yeehaw. Okay, copy. And then let's go back to this, which will probably, throw me right. I just love this program. Love it. So finicky. Paste. This is all stunning video right now. Put this right here. Where are you going? Oh, okay. All right. Now, the students that I have picked on, this is why I wanted to put this here. Okay, it's the same as grade school. When I had to do 316 divided by 7, I had to check first, does 7 go into 3? No, does 7 go into 31? Polynomial is a little different. It's actually easier. So just like 7 and 31 are the only two things that exist, the only two things that exist are 3x cubed, the largest degree term in the dividend. Wait, do I have that right? Dividend is what you're dividing into. And the divisor, what you're dividing by. I hope I have those words right. It's been a while. That's all you have to focus on. So, Mary, just like over here, what times 7 equals 31? What times 3x equals 3x cubed? It's just x squared. But now here's the difference. That's difference number one. A grade schooler can't do that. They can't conceptualize x's. You can because of your algebra skills through all your training over the years. The next thing is, how do I multiply 1x squared times this? What word should you use, Mary? What word should you use? What word describes what I'm doing with that 1x squared? Distribute it. So not only that, you cannot ignore that the 2 exists. So x squared must be multiplied by the full binomial. Now tell me what goes on this line right here. Okay, so what's x squared times 3x? And then what's the next thing? And you put it right underneath and organize the like terms. Mary, what's the next thing, though, that you have to do in division in grade school? Subtract. And Mary, the other thing that happens when you subtract a binomial, use that D word again. This is the number one mistake of long division. What's the D word again? I must distribute the minus sign. This is the only thing that goes wrong. And don't tell me this is difficult. All you did was distribute, put that answer underneath here, and then you got to know to subtract because that's what happens with long division. Now, the reason you subtract, this is supposed to go away, just like you're trying to get rid of 31. You knock down 31 at least to a number less than 7 over here. Here, at least you're getting rid of a column of terms. We're getting rid of the cubes. Then Mary set up Isabella here for the next one. So what is underneath the x squared there? Okay, and then we have 8x and 7. So just like over here, when you got, and this is why I wanted to cut this over here, so we could see this. You bring down the 6. It works a little different with numbers. Polynomials, we just have organized terms. It actually is a little bit cleaner, a little less to think about. And then you do it again. You skip down to here, just like with the 7. Now I look at 7 and 36. Well, now I look at 3x and 3x squared. What times 3x equals 3x squared? X. All right. But then what do we do with that X? We what? Say it. Distribute. Whoop, I went a little too far with that blue line there. And then write what's underneath here about what I'm about to reveal there. So what is X times 3x plus 2? And then what else? Plus 2x. But what do? Subtract. How do I subtract? Say the word. Distribute. So this goes here, then it turns into this and this. This is the number one mistake. All right, next. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Hey Mo, what is the goes right here then? If you've been following along, which is a big if. All right, here we go. What did he say? 6x plus 7. He was. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm sorry, Mo. How could I ever doubt you? All right. And then Mo, what goes up in this blank right here? And then if you get that right, then we'll move on to Nico. 2 is correct. Nico, go ahead and do something with that 2 here. We'll go green like this per se. So what is this? What is this? Nico, look over here. What's right in here? 6x plus 4. And then Sam, what do I do next? And then what is this number underneath in this 3? What's 3 called? Starts with an R? Remainder. Now, what we will show you in next year is how you're supposed to deal with that remainder. It's just like this. This is why I told you 45 and 1/7. That's actually 45 plus 1/7. The word and implies a plus. Here it's not an option. You have to put a big fat plus, and then 3 is the remainder. 3x plus 2 was your divisor. That's the last term in this weird, what's not called a polynomial anymore. Don't worry about that. Just trying to be real specific with my math. Okay, so the next people I get, you're going to long divide again. But here's a good thing that Mr. Cernowski kind of typed in his notes for all of us. Question number 3 in the warm-up was an example of polynomial long division. You don't have to write this down. This process will be discussed next year. I will not make you do that, but for me to show you the next thing, I want you to know what it's replacing. I really do, so that's why I want to go over it. We'll be using a shortcut method called synthetic division in this section. And the reason is then after that, we can equate this to how it works with graphing. We could actually connect it to things that we've already done. Synthetic division is very specific. It can only be used when you're dividing by a linear factor. And as a factor, it's got to be x plus or minus some number. Like you got to have 1 in front of this x. That last one that we did, this 3 would mess up the ability to do synthetic division. You'd be able to figure it out. Those that are on the high end of math, how you do this synthetically and what the difference is between real division and synthetic. But for our purposes, and you'll probably investigate that next year, we're only going to synthetically divide by x plus or x minus a number. All right. And that's really the key. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it long, and then we're going to do it synthetically. So go ahead and write that down. 2x squared cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 1 divided by, sorry if you can't see that. That looks like a big minus there. Got a little bad bad font looking, or it just didn't come up very nicely. Divided by x plus 1. Okay, did I pick on someone yet? No, I didn't. Nice. Now we got group 2. You ready, Julian? You got that earbud out? That's good. Does he? Did see the white thing? No? Okay. Remember that in the beginning of the year? Earbuds, phones, drones. No? Okay. All right. So long division. All right, Julian. We focus on this. We focus on this. What goes up on the blank? And then I didn't make a big point of this. He said it. You should put that above the x squared position. It's just a good idea. It's not mandatory, but it's a good idea because it tells you probably have 2 more steps as well. All right. And then you keep things in order. But it's not mandatory. But I try to tell my CAT students, do this. And I don't really say, just like long division, keep everything in order. All right. And then distribute, Julian. What do we got what do we put underneath here then? What goes here? 2x cubed, very important. And then what? 2x cubed plus 2x squared. And then set up your next people. What do we have to do then? Okay, so you subtract, which I agree with your statement, distribute a -1. That's fine by me. Ooh, pen grab there. Okay, next, Sam. What do I have down here? And I'll change colors for the next step. So go ahead and calculate. And then bring down. And when you get good with this or do this a long time, you don't have to bring the -1 yet because it doesn't play in the next step, but still we'll bring it down. All right, and then what goes up in the blank? Okay, so again, we got it. This has to be matched, so I have to put -5x here. All right, and then go ahead and distribute and put what's in this position right here. -5x, what? And then what? But then set up your next person by doing what? Subtract. So she said distribute a negative. And then David. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry. And then what goes up in the blank up here to match this with this? The yellows. 9, sorry. Ah, that was green. And then what do we put here? Okay, you did 2 steps in one. He said minus 9x minus 9 because he distributed the negative already. So I'll do this. That's the multiplication, the distribution, and then you subtract, which is distribute the negative. What's your remainder? David, what's your remainder? Negative 10 over, what do I put it as? Over x plus 1. And then this is how I have my CAT students write the final answer. Just keep it up on top of that blank. Sticking the remainder over the divisor as one more term. I don't care what anyone says. My CAT students complain about everything. They just look at this and say, "You expect me to do all that work? I quit. I have rights." All right? And it really isn't that hard. I don't know why they think it is. Okay, so now you take this any way you want. Mr. Sarnowski really, really overbroke this down from an old resource. I'm going to do this through a new process called synthetic division. So here's the first step, and he does have this stepped out. So I guess this would be step one. Step one is the setup. Now, no, and this is the same question. What? Right? And I guess I want to go in red. Red just pops more. So notice what I have in that little blank there, this little new thing. I was synthetically dividing. No, I long divided by x plus 1. And then it looks like the 0, good Lord, that's me, my brain. The 0 of x minus or x plus 1 goes here. Remember, factors turn into zeros, which are x-intercepts. And that is step one. When you're synthetically dividing by x plus 1, you synthetically divide by the 0 of x plus 1, which is negative 1. And then notice the coefficients of the dividend. Dividend is the word, what am I dividing into? What am I breaking down? So it did go in order. I do want you to understand this has to be in descending order. Those coefficients, or else you're done. Unfortunately, I don't know if I do this in the notes. I think all of it is descending. I do another thing, though. That's kind of a trick. All right. Now, I think you could just write the words. He writes every, like a whole nother synthetic division statement. You just write the next step, right on this blank, and then write step 2, the words. And then here are the words. Step 2, literally just bring down that coefficient. So the very first thing in the process of synthetic division is to bring this down. Got to start it off. Now remember this because you're going next. Who is going next? Let's get them ready. Did I get all of you guys? Yes, I did. Oh, 2 again. You better be ready to synthetically divide on the next example. So Julian, you better be paying attention. All right, then the next step. Again, don't rewrite this whole thing. It is a multiply. So take negative 1 and multiply it by 2, and then put it in this blank underneath the next column. And then honestly, you add these two. So off to the right, negative 1 times 2 equals negative 2, and then place negative 2 in the next column if you really want to robotically write out the steps. And then guess what? You keep doing that. So the next step is I get negative 5, and then I take negative 1 and multiply again, and then put that here, and then add. So what's crazy about synthetic division is you add, you don't subtract. And that's what students sometimes mess up. Right? And then this comes from something, if you looked up how does synthetic division work, you're going to get something called a nested polynomial. I remember looking this up, why it worked a long time ago. Made sense, and then didn't really care to share it because it just doesn't, it's an easy process that you don't really need to know where it comes from. And then, of course, the last thing, negative 1 times 9 is negative 9, and add, and you get negative 10. And then look at the answer. You see the answer? Look at the coefficients of the answer, and look at the long division question. If you didn't take your notes, you make me sad. Those all look the same. But here's what you got to understand. This was an x cubed. This right here is called, are you ready? If you need some Kleenex over there, get ready for this. This is actually called a depressed polynomial. You want to know why? Just like Mr. Samuelus, this polynomial is not what it used to be. It used to be an x to the third, and now it's only an x squared. Mr. Samuelus through life has probably been knocked down quite a few degrees, but that's okay. Negative 5x plus 9 plus negative 10 over the remainder x plus 1, or over the divisor. So it now is no longer an x cubed. It's now an x squared. This is now the x term. This is now the constant, and this turns into the remainder. Everything gets knocked down a notch. It's called the depressed polynomial. Aw. Okay, and then write out the answer. That's right there. Okay, translate the answer. All right, I hate doing this, but I taught it all 3 periods. This is the way we're going to write. This is the way. This is the way we're going to write it, which is the long division answer as well. This is called fractional form. Writing the remainder as a fraction tacked on as a term at the end. You could either make it minus or plus negative. It doesn't matter. Okay? Now, what is polynomial form? This is kind of stupid, and I don't like it as much. It's related to this. If 7 divides into 316 and I get 45 remainder 1, then this is true. 45 times 7 would be 315 plus 1. That would turn into the dividend. So it's writing it like this. This is what polynomial form is. And I am going to share this with you for next year. And then you'll forget. And then, then you'll have to be retaught it. So what did I divide by? I divided by x plus 1. What did my answer become? 2x squared minus 5x plus 9. That's close to the dividend until I subtract 10 when I'm done with that product. Then that will equal the dividend, the 2x cubed, and I'm not going to write it. 2x cubed, blah, 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 blah. So that's I like equating it to the 45-7 and remainder 1 question, which everyone knows is true. If I divide and get this answer, if I multiply, I'll get the answer back. And that's the point of that one. We're only going to do fractional form. All right, who do we got? What group did we get again? All right, this group right here, right? Let's go in reverse order. David, what goes in that blank now? And then here are the directions. Divide using synthetic division and write in fractional form. Divide using synthetic division, write in fractional form. What goes in a blank, Dave? -1. So it's the same one. And then are we in descending order? Tell me the coefficients. Samantha, what goes here? Oh, 1. What goes here? Oh, so we multiply, and then we put that here. So what's that? And then remember, we don't subtract, we add. So what goes here? Okay, Julian, what goes here? Oh, we take these two and multiply them. 6, and then what goes here? 9. You just add. It's not long division, synthetic division. You add. Julian, what goes in this blank? -9. And then what goes in this blank? And then, David, you barely did anything. So what's the final answer? Remember, David. Aw. Aw. Oh, poor thing. Nice. And that's it. Are you okay over there? Oh, I thought you were sleeping. That would have been an instant you're up. Europe? I'm going to Europe, by the way. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jordan fades back. 7. Okay, here we go. Ashley, what goes in that blank? Tell me these numbers. We're being awfully nice, by the way. I'm a jerk. And I couldn't, anyone? Care less, anyone that thinks that about me. Don't care. All right. But we can be jerks and actually get these all jumbled around. All right. Are those jumbled or are those already in descending order? If they weren't, you got to get them in descending order, then put them down. If you don't put the numbers in descending order, synthetic division doesn't work. But anyway, tell me the numbers. Yes. 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 What goes here? What goes here? Addison, take over. What goes here? What goes here? Nadia, take over. What goes here? Keep going. Huh? Isn't this easy? What goes here? And I'm going to call you out on this. What is 3 times 27? We already had this today. Huh? 81. All right. And then what's that final number right there? All right. And then, so those are just circles to try to get you the answer. Now go back to Ashley. What's the final answer? Aw. Yeah. Aw. Plus. Okay. By the way, Ashley, is x minus 3 a factor of that 2x to the fourth polynomial? Why? Why is it no? Because the remainder is not what number? No, not 1. Don't listen to her. The remainder would have to be what? Not 0. The remainder would have to be 0 for it to be a factor. Okay, so I'm kind of covering the last part of the notes. All right, synthetic division. All right, and then I'm not going to tell you what those are. Same directions. Ooh, who are we going to pick on? Maybe the last one. Oh, nice. Wait, you've been 3 times? 3 times already, or 2 times? 4. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Calvin, what goes in a blank? And then do the next part. Okay, get ready for this. 2, 5. Holy crow. And then what? That is the first person all day long that got this correct. Let's give him a hand. Okay, it's mandatory. Okay, that's enough. That's overdone. That's enough. He didn't cure cancer. All right, let's go on. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Good job though. All right. 2x squared. Yes. And actually, when we long divide, I actually tell my CAT students, you should actually in long division put a 0x in that position for spacing as well. And then keeping track of your terms and how many more steps you might have. For synthetic division, it's a must. As a fat or mac, you should get your highlighter out right now and highlight that in your brain. That's when you highlight it on your paper. It actually creates an extra wrinkle in your brain by doing that. This is not an option. This is a must. So all day long, I did this on purpose, and I yelled, wrong, just to scare them because they hate hearing that in front of their peers. But it's a learning technique, all right? And I know they wouldn't have known that, all right? But Calvin did. Very well done. Calvin, I'll just ask you one more thing. What goes here? Liv, what's next? What's next? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, this is exciting. And then what's this? All right, Caden, what could I say x plus 3 is then for this polynomial 2x cubed? It is a factor. Okay, and then that's the next set of the notes here. But tell me the final answer now. 2. Yep. And then I don't have to write 0 over x plus 3, but you can. I guess it'd be okay, but it's kind of silly because 0 over anything is 0. That's the point of that being a factor. All right, and I'm going to bother you one more time. What time do we have here? 47. No, I don't like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you went. I don't like that. Did you guys go? So it's between 1 and 6. 1, 6. 1! 1! Yes, you get to go twice. All right, 1. Okay, here we go. Haley, what goes in the blank? And then keep going. So what's the next part? 1, 2. Wah, wah, wah. So you have x to the 4th, and then it went to x. Didn't you clap? You were clapping. You were clapping. Oh, everyone else clapping. What's happening? Why are they clapping? Oh, I'll do it too. Okay. We were clapping because Calvin figured out for missing terms, we put a 0 for missing terms. Right? Is that why you're doing that? Remember that? Yes. Okay. So then 0. 0. Then what? -5. Fumble! And then what? -14. I'm a little worried, Haley. Okay, so what's the next thing? What goes here? 1. And then what goes here? Oh, sorry, pen. And then take over. What am I allowed to call you? Lexi? Okay, all right, go ahead. Oh, then look at this. You want to get nuts. This is 0. What's here? What's here? What's here? What's here? Okay, slow down. Now what? And then what? And then what? And then you have the, by the way, is it a factor? No. Okay, what's the final answer? This is a little weird. Aw. X to the 4th. Yes. That's why we have to process this. You don't need all the zeros because they're nothing. And then what? Correct. So put plus -4 over x plus 2. And then let's pick another group. Let's finish with one more. There we go. Nice. 6. Okay. So now this is it a factor or not? So determine if this is sure. He already says so. So Adam, what goes in this blank? Is this a factor? 3 over 2. And then do I have any missing terms? Or go ahead, tell me the next part. Yes? 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 3. And then what goes here? James, take over. Oh, no. What's 3/2 times 2? This is calculus. No, it isn't. My seniors kill me that they can't do this so fast. What's 3/2 times 2? It's 3. And then what do we get next? 0. And then this is easy. What's this? 0. And then what? Okay. And then Anthony, what's 3/2 times -2? What's -3 plus 3? What's the answer to this question? Is this binomial a factor or not? The answer is yes. You don't even have to write an answer write out the answer as a division, the final answer. The final answer is answering the question, is it a factor or not? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, your homework's going to take 5 minutes. You non-homework doers, if you don't do this homework assignment and turn it in tomorrow, you're the stinkiest person in all of Stinkville, and that's how I feel about you. You can't even give me 5 minutes, and then come up with some excuse. I couldn't do it because I stubbed my toe, and then I was done for the rest of the day. Stinkiest stinker